Emotions are not a bad thing. I think that a world without emotions would be a very dull and meaningless world indeed. I think emotions are a gift from God. If you don't believe in God, then at least we can agree that emotions are a good thing, right? Okay, so there's a problem, however, I see in society at large, in people in general, okay? I don't even know if it's a social problem. It's kind of more of a people sort of problem, and that is that too many people are controlled by their emotions. Because you see, you have your emotional side, and your emotional side can be manipulated. You may not realize this, but your emotions are a choice. If you choose to go in a certain direction for long enough, eventually the emotions that accompany with that direction will catch up with you. For instance, say you had a neighbor who hated you, okay? And you decided that you were going to choose to serve that neighbor. You were not going to let that neighbor get you down. And so you really hated that neighbor when you started, but you just kept choosing to serve him. You mowed his lawn, you fed his dog. Well, okay, that might not be quite right. But anyways, you didn't shoot his dog when it went onto your property. Anyways, you kept choosing to serve your neighbor. Eventually, you're probably going to start to feel like doing that, because now eventually if you choose to do something for long enough, why not feel like doing it, you know? So what I'm saying is that by doing the right thing, I believe that we can make a choice that will cause us to have emotions that are proper, okay? There is such a thing as improper emotions, however. When we make wrong choices, improper emotions will always ensue. I also believe firmly that there is a sin nature in man, that every man is born evil, and that means that we have wrong emotions by nature, okay? And that only by the grace of God can those be taken away from us. However, you don't have to go with your emotions, okay? You can make a choice to resist your emotions and to do the right thing. Now, I wanted to look at what it actually looks like to be driven by your emotions, because obviously we can't fix a problem until we realize we have it, and we can't realize we have it until we know what the problem actually looks like. So I wanted to look at two different kinds of people, okay? And I've actually fallen into both of these camps, and I think you probably have as well. And if you're in one of these camps, hey, it's not like there's no room for grace. Pull yourself out of that pit. Or, well, I don't think you can pull yourself out of that pit, but by God's grace, take the strength that He gives you each day and, you know, use that to pull yourself out of that pit and move on with your life, okay? So essentially, I think we've got two different kinds of people. We got the people who are obviously emotions driven. They basically say, well, I felt like it, you know, or this is just what I believe, you know. It's like, it's not true, and they're like, okay, fine, I see that, but I believe this anyways. Okay, that's definitely an emotion-driven decision. You know, you can't, once you see truth, okay? Truth is absolute, and it won't change no matter what emotions you're feeling. Truth is always absolute, okay? Now, your emotions will always deviate from the truth because they're basically just emotions. They aren't really, they're a byproduct as opposed to the actual thought process. They're a byproduct of a thought process. They aren't the actual thought process, okay? So, you see the truth, okay? Let's just use an obvious example. A car's coming, okay? Car's coming. You see that it will hit you. And the obvious right choice would be to get out of the way of that car, okay? But maybe, let's just say that you felt like sitting there and getting hit by that car and taking a chance that maybe the car would stop, even though there's no way it's going to stop, okay? That would be an obviously wrong, emotionally driven choice. However, people make those kinds of choices all the time. Why did you get drunk? Oh, I felt like it. Why did you hit your wife? I felt like it. Why did you cheat on your math? I felt like it, okay? Yeah, and they might not say it in exactly that way, but that's really the way it was driven. Selfish feelings, selfish emotions. I felt like serving myself, okay? That is an obviously emotion-driven sort of person. Or you could look at it another way. Take the atheist, for example. You can show him truth all day long. You can hit him over the head with a Bible. Not gonna help, but anyways. You can show him truth. You can prove him wrong, but he's always going to hang on to his belief because he has an emotionally driven belief. He doesn't want his belief to be wrong, and so he's simply going to hang on to his belief that God doesn't exist no matter how much evidence you show him, okay? Another emotionally driven belief. Okay, but now let's look at another group of people, and this is the group that I've probably fallen into more often than the other, though I have fallen into that group as well. This is probably the group that I hang out in more because it's a more respected group, okay? And this is the group, and it's mainly a guys group, okay? It's a guys club. And it's the club of I don't have emotion. Okay. Now, when you say you don't have emotion, that's not true. Because I can prove that. I'll take you out to a place where nobody's around. Okay? And then I'll punch you in the face. And I'll see if you have emotion. Okay? I can prove that you have emotion. You've got emotions in there. When you say you don't have emotion, you are not saying you don't have emotion. You're saying, I don't choose to use my emotions to glorify God and serve others. Okay? Wow, that hurts. Gotta give myself a little pat on the back here. That hurt. Okay, anyways. When you say I don't have emotion, you're saying I only use my emotion for me. Okay? And that's a very dangerous place to be. Obviously, I think the problem with that is very obvious. But I think that that's something that we missed a lot. And it's like, emotions are a choice. And I get it, making the right choice is rarely the easy choice. It's difficult, very difficult. And there's going to be people who don't like you. There's going to be people who aren't going to take that well. And you aren't always going to feel good. But if you choose to make the right choices, you choose to serve God, you choose to love others, eventually the proper emotions are going to follow. And you are going to have true and lasting joy that only comes with doing the right thing. Okay, so yeah, that's just some stuff I've been trying to work on in my own life. I get it, it's difficult. Remember that you can't fall down too far to get back up again. You know, God's grace reaches us all no matter how far down we've fallen. You know, something I've had to remind myself a lot here recently. So, without any further ado, stay strong. This is Nebraska Farm Boy. We'll see you next time.